Okay, we're back, and we're back in the kitchen making some more brownies. Working on our Paul's Pet Palace website based on the Brownie template. Now what I want to do is I'm going to actually change a couple of the menu items things on you. Cats, dogs, and birds, I have a different idea for that because of stuff I want to do in the next couple of lessons. So if you're watching this video, that means you have most likely already done these steps. You've downloaded and unzipped this file, gallery.zip. Place the gallery folder that's living in that underneath the PPP folder, and then go to localhost PPP gallery, and it should just work. So if I go to localhost, I see Poor Man's Photo Gallery, and I see a title of the Alaska trip, the Preakness, the Belmont, the Kentucky Derby, and some snowblowing, and my old 84 Corvette. I got to get a picture of my new one out there, don't I? So now, what we have is basically some pretty simple HTML. And if you look at the HTML file, it looks like this. I didn't put, on purpose, I didn't put any other head tags and footer tags or anything else. I just wanted to focus on the PHP code itself. So here's a heading. Here's the start of the PHP. The variable $dir equals the opening of this directory, and the period means the current directory. Now, what that also means is we can path out relational directories if we don't happen to be in the same place that we need to be. And then I'm going to loop over. I'm going to read each item in that directory. So I'm opening a directory, I'm going to read each item in the directory, and as I'm doing a while loop while it exists, I'm going to store the value into file name. If the file name does not equal a dot, if the file name does not equal a dot dot, and if the file name does not equal index.php, and if you're using a Mac, you're going to want to add and file name not equal to dsstore, because if that dsstore file got down there, it'll display that. So if this is true, if the file I'm looking at now is not a dot, a double dot, index, or whatever other files you don't want to display, and here's our curly Q bracket starting the if statement, our curly Q bracket ending the if statement, make the display name equal a string replace of .jpeg file name. And what I want to do is basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a string replace of the file name .jpeg, and I'm making it null, and because I want to just strip that out, and I'm replacing all the hyphens in the name with a space. So if I look at the directory itself, if I look at the gallery directory, and if I notice every file is ending with a .jpeg. Here's an index file which is getting skipped by the index by the if statement. I'm stripping off the .jpeg of the file name. I am purposely choosing Paul and Donna at the Belmont using capitals, and these hyphens, basically I want to do that string replace and put spaces there. This way my file name is a pure no space file name, but when I display the title, that it will display nicely with that string replace. And then basically, so I'm doing a little work, file name, strip off the JPEG, put it into the display name variable, the display name variable, take out the hyphens and put in a space, and then do an H3, and the H3 will actually display the name. And then right here, keeping the file name variable, which was the initial file name variable stored, I'm actually building an image tag. And that image tag will then display. and then it loops through all of this, and when it's done, the directory is closed. And that's all it takes to make a really simple gallery. Now, the problem here is it's kind of ugly, and it's not responsive, and it's not fitting into our Paul's Pet Palace Brownie template. So let's do some work to make that happen. So I'm going to just go back to Paul's Pet Palace. And what I've decided to do is I want cats, dogs, and birds to all live under, like these, under a tag called pets. And then I'm going to have FAQs, and gallery has other items. So first we're going to work on our menu include and make a couple of changes to that. So pull up NetBeans, and here's that index page from that photo gallery. And here's the menu include. And what I want to do, cats, birds, and if I put a beginning unordered list there, and an ending unordered list there. Now, and then I want to be just like the pricing. That basically what I want to do is I want to add li, and I'm going to call that, matter of fact, why don't I just take this just like this. And let's call this pets. And then I need to have this ending tag to start with this beginning tag here. I'm just giving a couple of little extra spaces here just so you can be sure to see what's going on. Okay, now I'm going to save that, come back to Paul's Pet Palace, do a refresh, and now you can see pets, cats, dogs, and birds is living under pets. You know, I want to add 2 new pages, and basically I didn't want to have a menu going way long. So now let's go back, and I'm going to just copy this blog link, Control V, enter, Control V, and I'm going to call this gallery.php and FAQs.php. And let's go gallery, and let's go FAQs. Now I'm going to save that, come back out to Paul's Pet Palace, and now you can see I have the gallery link, no page exists, and I have the FAQ link, no page exists. But what's nice is now I have this link called pets, and I can go to the cats, dogs, and birds. And I'm going to deal with that later. I think I'm going to use the database stuff for that stuff. So so we're getting kind of set here. So now let's look at the gallery. Now the gallery page doesn't exist, so we need to create a page called gallery.php. But what I want to do is I'm going to go back to my templates and decide which one that I want to use. And after looking at all of these and deciding which template fits my need the best, this full width template here, so the file is called full-width.php, that actually works out the best for me. So I think I like that a lot. So what I'm going to do now is let's open up fullwidth.php. Oops. Open up fullwidth.php. Come on, open. Hello? There we go. Fullwidth.php. And remember, we've already done all this work with the includes, adding the includes there. We've already done this work. And what I want to do is I want to go File, Save As, and I want to save this as gallery.php. Now, going back to, here's my home page on PHP. Now if I click on gallery.php, I now have the full width template at my beck and call. Now, so this technique that we just used here is the same technique you can use for any page you want. So you find a page that you like, and you say, you know, I really like this portfolio 4 columns page. I want my dogs page or my birds page or whatever page to look like this. So you take that page, open it up, and then do a save as whatever your new name page is. But you're keeping the template and the PHP includes and everything tight in there. Now all we have to do is modify the gallery page. So now, here we are in the gallery page, and I know I don't need all this text. So I'm going to delete all this text. I wish I could show you all of there we go. So now what I have, and here, matter of fact, full width, this text, so now I've deleted this, and I'm just going to put hi right there. And I save it. Now I come back, I refresh my gallery page, and now you can see all I have is the hi, and I still have this full width. So what I could do is in my gallery page where it says full width, right here, sample photo gallery. Save that, refresh the page. Sometimes you gotta really click it. Now it says sample photo gallery. Now what? So I go home, I'm here, gallery, I'm in here, and I see my code for that. Now, if you remember, we had some code in this gallery, this index.php file. This is basically pretty stripped down, and obviously we don't need that header anymore, but we'll keep it in the index page. Let's just cut this a bit of code, the gut of the work. Let's just copy that, Control C. We're keeping it in that index page for the gallery photo, and let's go to the gallery page, and where the hi is, let's just paste that right in there. Put it into the container section. Let's save it. And now let's run the code. Now, this is pretty interesting. Look at what we're getting. I'm getting the 404 page, the single, the blog, the contact, the CSS, the elements, I'm getting all of these files, which guess what? They live in the www folder, or they actually live in the PPP folder. That's because right here, the directory that I'm opening is the wrong one. If I now change that to gallery, so I want to open the directory gallery, and I save it, refresh it, it looks like it's not liking that. So let's see what happens here. Open directory, GALL. Save that. Okay, so now I'm getting my titles correctly. So I have the right pathing, the right relative path right here for my displaying of the name. But the actual image here, this file name, that's messing up. So we actually need to add to that this full path to make that really work. So what we're going to have to do is take the file name and we're going to have to build that a little bit. So we're going to go $, file name equals dot gallery slash concatenated to $underbar file name and put a semicolon at the end. So now what we're doing is we're adding the pathing information to the file name so that when we reference it in the screen name that it should work. Let's cross our fingers. I might have it wrong, I don't know. Save this and then refresh the page, and my pathing's still wrong, so I'll figure it out. Give me a second. Okay, what I forgot to do was put the slash before and after gallery. So this is the proper way. So make sure you have this name here, and now we come back and go to home page, gallery, sample photo gallery from the top, and now we see our pictures. But watch what happens here. When I shrink it down, I'm not getting a responsive shrink here. So we're going to have to look up how that works. Also, I'm not really impressed with this display here. So one of the pages in the sample template pages we have, if we go to pages elements, elements shows, look at these things called alerts and even tabs, a toggle. This is pretty cool, this little toggle logic right here. And then there's even some buttons here. If you do a right-click view source, and then if you scroll down and you find the word alerts, there's elements, here's the word alerts, you can see how those alerts were built. You can see how those tabs were built. And what's really cool is that toggle stuff right here, this toggle box, you can cut and paste this whole class and put it into another page and use that. I think we're going to use that for the FAQs, but right now what I'd like to do is, I guess I'm liking this blue right here, this alt text, the alert text for the blue. That's the first one. And so if I take red alerts text, boom, 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 boom. If I take this here, div class question box alert text. If I go Control C, and I'm just doing a view source of the elements page. Now if I go back into NetBeans, I'm in my gallery, and what I want to happen is I want the display name to have that alert look to it. So if I take, here's the code that I just brought, and if I go print and put the quotes here, put the quotes at the end of this, put a semicolon there, and now what I've done is I've taken advantage of the div class called question mark, and this alert text, basically I want this right here, the display name. I'm going to Control exit, and I'm going to put it right where that is. Now, one of the things we got going on is double question marks here. Where that class is, I need to change that and put that into single question marks. So I quotes, single quotes living within inside double quotes. So take a look carefully at this piece of code here that we just changed. And now our display titles are taking advantage of the CSS template, Brownie template. Save this. I'm back at the Brownie page. Go up to the top. Let's go home and hit gallery. And now look at what we've got. We've got some nice blue showing the different titles for each. You might not necessarily love this design and love this look and feel, but what I'm trying to do is use this as a case study of how to implement PHP code. We took some simple PHP code in this poor man's gallery. We cut it out and we put it into a page that we copied. So remember what we did. We went here, we said, we like this full width page. Full width PHP. We opened it up in NetBeans and called it Gallery PHP. We have a link in the menu going to Gallery PHP. The Gallery PHP was kind of boring with these titles, so I wanted to add this alert box. This alert box is demonstrated to us on the Elements page. And what we're going to do next is this toggles page. We're going to do that for FAQs in the next video. But right now, we took the code that we found that made this little blue box, and we added it to our simple poor man's gallery code. Right there. So by marrying these different components together, we're able to actually put together a pretty powerful little web page. So I would like you to go ahead and do this. And if you want to use different pictures, please go ahead. But use the naming convention, .jpeg, use the hyphens within the names, and go ahead and make your own gallery page. And again, be thinking about your final project, and as you implement the gallery page in another page, that what you have to be sensitive to is the pathing. This relative pathing stuff can always be a pain in the neck. And recreating this file name to include the pathing, because this is not going to work excuse me, the first time around. So I hope you have some fun with that.